Hello, welcome back to the woods. I've finally done it and brought the pop-top cabin out here and assembled it all together. For those that haven't watched the previous episode of this, it was about 4 months ago and I began work in my garage. I just used, I think it's 2x2 for the framework, putting it together, and then I used 4mm hardwood ply to kind of clad it for the sides, and the bottom I think I used 11mm. And for the roof, I believe it's 9mm hardwood ply. So I've tried to keep it as light as possible, but also using kind of the durability aspect. Yeah, if you want to watch that episode, I will put a link in the description below. I actually got this idea from my previous vehicle, which was a VW campervan, and it had a pop-top roof. So you could drive along as normal, and then when you parked up to camp, you could undo these two straps, push the roof up on some gas struts, and you'd get loads of headroom inside. So I thought I would apply that to a cabin and bring it out into the woods. So building on from that previous episode, I used the black bitumen paint that I had used on the base of the cabin, which I find really effective stuff. I used it on my previous folding stealth cabin out here in the woods. It's very, very waterproof, and it just helps any exposed wood, I guess, that's out in the elements. I've been really pleased with it. So I used some of that on the roof itself. Once I'd finished the frame, I attached some, I think it was 9mm ply to the top, applied the paint to it, the bitumen paint, and I made a little window, a skylight, which I used some acrylic to use, some old acrylic I had left over. It's quite fiddly to work with. I know you guys have said in the past that use something different, but I just had some left over, so I thought I'd use that. And I just cut out a shape that I thought would look nice and secured that by drilling some pilot holes first, then putting some screws in lightly, not too hard because the acrylic can crack quite easily. And then once that was attached, I used some sealant around the edge of it so that the water wouldn't get in, and then I was able to get that up onto the top of the cabin itself and attach some hinges. Now the hinges that I've used are only small and they're just temporary at the moment, just so I can get used to lifting it up and down, to make sure, you know, it's easier to adjust smaller hinges and take them out with smaller screws than it would be with big long screws, and I didn't want to make loads of holes in the frame. So I've tested that and it works, and the roof works fine. And then building on from that, I then came out into the woods. I'd finished painting the base of the frame as well with the bitumen paint, and I brought that out into the woods here with my Land Rover Defender. We're about 1 kilometre into the woods up the track, and I then lifted it the rest of the way here to where I'm going to base it. I've chosen this area here. It's amongst lots of hazel trees. There's dense foliage of hazel at the moment, being summer, but it's nice and shaded. There's dappled sunlight coming through. I find it really pretty, and there's these big craters here at this particular area of the woods, and the ash trees that are growing here have all these exposed roots with moss growing all over them, and it just feels and looks really ancient. There's a lovely big oak tree to the back of the cabin, so there's a nice variety of trees, and there's a nice kind of access area where I can get to it up a little path that I think it's more of a game trail really, that the deer have made, but I really like it. I like the setting. I'm pleased with it. So I decided to bring it up here. I had a tarp over it for a few days because it was due to rain, and then today I've started to put it together. For the legs, I've actually used some trailer stabilizer jacks, so they're adjustable, which was great because I knew it'd be uneven ground up here. And I attached those legs, those adjustable, they fold as well, but I don't need them to fold underneath. I attached those with some 12mm or 12x60mm coach screws. So they're really secure, and if the ground does sink over time and the cabin sinks over time, I can just lift one of the legs up and it just drops down really easily. So I can adjust the height as much as I want to, really. And then yeah, here's the window. This here is a window that's actually for caravans, but I had to follow the kind of shape of, it's a bit wonky because I had to follow the shape of the interior frame where I built it high at the top and low at the back. I just had to follow that, so I think it looks quite funny. But yeah, so it's heavily tinted, which is nice because you can't see inside as easily, but obviously here on the outside From the inside out, it's really good to see out, and I can see this lovely view of the forest. But it's also, what I like about it is it's got this mosquito mesh slide here, so I can open the window on the hot days like today and still have the mosquito mesh and not have any bugs coming in, but I can still get the airflow. So that will also be super useful when I put a wood stove in here in the winter, which I do plan to do. Yeah, then I can still have this open and have the whole cabin closed, and just still get that airflow, which is brilliant. I don't have to put a vent inside. I just have this. I've just made a frame, drew out a rough shape of this, cut it with a jigsaw, pulled it in, put some small M4. I think these are M4 bolts and some small nuts and washers. Secured that in, and then I used some sealant around the edge to make it totally water sealed and waterproof. But there are still jobs to do. I need to obviously put a front door on it, possibly some steps, and then I need to put some gas struts on. I've got the gas struts up with me, so I'm going to put some gas struts on. Then I need to make a kind of material around the edge of it so that when it lifts up on the gas struts, it's not just a hole, it's covered and waterproof still. And then we'll probably be ready for the first overnight. Either way, I'm really pleased with it so far. And it's a lot more spacious than my other smaller cabin. I can sit up in this quite easily, and I can lay down one side and have my bed one side and a stove the other side. Yeah, very pleased with it. And there's lots of light at the back with the skylight. I'm very, very pleased.
Oh. Yeah, it's going to be hot, Oscar. What's up?
Yeah. What do you think?
I like it.
Ready? We've got to take some sticks off.
Sticks.
Because I've got this on the roof for the moment. Protect it.
Mummy, I'm still cold.
Oh, I didn't bring fruit or anything. I thought a hoodie would be enough.
Might have to get a fire going then.
Yeah.
What do you think? Ta-da! All that work at home, all that space in the garage taken up. I'm not cold. Hello. Hello. You don't have to lift it out every time, Eve. Just pull it along now.
I am it.
It's quite stiff. Watch your fingers. And now you have to lift it out to put it back. Yeah. Can you do it, Oscar? Here you
Oscar,
go.
look! Look, Oscar, there! The tree.
You see the trees?
That's a big one, isn't it?
Hello.
Hello.
What are you serving today?
Oh, sorry, let me just open it.
Pull it hard. Oh, it's a bit big for you, buddy. There you go. So if you can't tell already, I am back out in the woods on a different day. I've brought my family with us. It's my son Oscar, my daughter Eve, who's just gone over there somewhere with mum Emmy, and obviously Jax is with us today. I had planned on hopefully getting the gas struts installed. Yeah. But I've got my family with me, so chance of getting work done is fairly slim, but it doesn't matter. We're going to have some good times. It's going to be harder than it looks, I reckon, definitely. Oh, did it fall?
Yeah. It's alright, don't worry, it's just there.
Oh, that?
Yeah, it's a beetle.
Oh,
it's
look
a little
at
bit
that.
injured, but...
That's a colourful beetle, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know. Big tree. You okay, Eve?
Yeah, it's just gone over. Oh no, Mr. Woodlouse, you've got to go out.
You've gone down the wrong one. You've gone down the wrong path, Eve.
What are you building? A wheel?
No, a roof. I've got no idea if this is going to work. I think you're meant to do quite a few calculations with gas struts, and it's supposed to be a certain distance from the kind of hinges to where it opens to comparative weight of the roof. I kind of just try to wing it. I've got no idea if these are going to work at all, but you've got to try these things sometimes. So hopefully when I lift the wood up it doesn't snap. If it doesn't work, we'll do it another day. Ugh. Ooh. Kind of works. Ooh. Okay. Okay, but I don't stay up. Whoa! Something has come loose. So the gas strut totally sheared. Don't know if you can see that. It's sheared off there. There's different types of gas struts. There's one with like a ball joint on the end. These are like eyelet ones. There's ones with a ball joint on the end, and I'm wondering if I should have used something like that. I thought I got the weight right on these, but it might have been the angle. The roof's probably heavier than I realised. Back to the drawing board with the gas struts. I could do a temporary solution for now, which would involve some sort of sticks or pieces of wood that I drill into here or bolt into here that can fold out to the side when not in use, or even down here. So when I lift the roof up, I could just lift these up and plonk it up under the roof like that. That could be an option as a temporary fix until I get a better idea of gas struts, because I have no idea how to install them. I need to do a bit more research into that. But the kids are enjoying their time by the fire. Okay, next job, because we're parking that one on the shelf, is I've got basically this tarp. It's 3 meters, I think, or 3 by 4 meters. It was the clearest plastic I could get. It's not totally see-through as such, but it's enough to still see out. I wanted it much clearer, but it's going to be totally waterproof. And my theory is I'm going to use that as the material around the edge of the cabin, and then I can let loads of light in when the roof's up. Ever somehow. You can go in. Just let me move some of this stuff. So all of this needs to come inside. Right, hold on. So this is Eve, just leave, sweetie. He doesn't mean to.
I'm playing with someone else.
It's fine.
No.
He doesn't mean to, Eve.
Oh, it's okay.
He's learning.
Here, I got presents.
Right, it's going to get noisy in here when I bang this.
Okay. Hey guys, climb into that. I mean that. I do. It's not that loud, darling.
You okay?
That even isn't hurting my ears.
No?
No.
Good. So my tarp is too short going around the whole length. But I do have all this material here which is going to come off because I'm going to cut it here. So I figure I could cut it all the way along here, potentially reuse a lot of this down here. If not, I'm going to have to get another tarp. But you can see the gist of it. I can stand up in here and I'm waterproof totally, and yet I get a view and I get more headroom. It's exciting. The project's coming together, and I didn't let the gas strut thing defeat me, like get to me, because I was a bit frustrated with it that it didn't work, and it could be something down the line that I can add. But for now, I'm just going to go with this, manually lifting it, and we'll hopefully be able to add some gas struts down the line. Maybe some of you guys know about installing gas struts and angles and things. If you do, drop a comment. I'd be much appreciated. Right, let's cut this with scissors. So what I need to do as well is tack down in here. I've got some staples and a staple hammer, because I think if I staple in the top here, the water won't run in, because at the moment, if I pull it like that, it can still hit the side of this and drip down in here. Whereas if I staple it right near the edge like that, then it's got no chance of coming in. But I can cut it anyway. I'm not a big fan of doing this bit, because once you cut a tarp, there's no going back. I've bought the world's bluntest scissors. Oh, or the world's cheapest tarp. Let me just cut under here, sweetie, before you get in. Cut this black end off here because it doesn't look as nice with all this transparent kind of tarp going around, and then suddenly a black line going through it. So I'm going to just cut off that and then use some clear tape or something to tape the next piece of tarp to it, which I don't have at the moment, annoyingly. So we might have to just roll with that. But there we go. That overlap it a fair bit, which is hello. So all I've got to do is seal that corner over there with some tape, and I'm now fully waterproof in here. Awesome! I've got more things I still need to add to it. I have to do the door I have to figure out a way of when the roof comes down, you could see me manually pulling that in, that material. Oh, I think my son's fallen over. So I think I'm going to get some bungee cord, and I've seen it on rooftop tents on cars. The bungee cord actually sucks the material in, pulls it in, and you just lower it over it, and that way when you close it, it all pulls in and you don't have to manually lift and keep pulling it in. But either way, I'm really pleased with that. And also, hopefully down the line, some gas struts. But for now, I think some manual poles that I could lift up and just plonk on, and they just keep it up. That's the idea. But I'm very, very pleased with it so far. It's nice to have it out in the woods. I'm very much looking forward to the first overnight inside it. I have some staining and touching up I need to do with varnish, with the wood stain and things like that. I do actually throw a tarp over the top of this when I leave the woods. So I know some of you will be saying about the stain that I've used on the wood. Why didn't I use like a proper thick outdoor paint, durable paint? I really like the look of that, and you can't really get that type of look with a paint, a solid paint. You can only really get it with a stain. So I've got a tarp that goes over the top of the whole thing, and that way it saves it from being weathered all the time, and it should prolong it for a good few years. Anyway, my kids are about to break down in tantrums. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Stay tuned for probably the last episode and overnight of this cabin real soon, as well as some other exciting videos. I appreciate all of your views, your comments and everything, and if you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe. And if you like things like this and bushcraft and survival, then I'll link down below to my bushcraft and survival playlist, as well as my building playlist, where I build all sorts of awesome shelters. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Oh, he fell over.